My name's Terry McCaleb. I live in Hobart, Indiana, and I am a professional real estate agent.
And I'm Mark Horstman, also a real estate agent and also in Hobart. We're actually pretty boring people when it comes to most things. We work and we ride our motorcycles. That's about it.
What got me interested in motorcycles, because I had not previously had any interest in motorcycles, even though Mark had, was actually a friend of mine had been to one of the Janus Discovery Days and posted a picture of herself in front of a Halcyon. And in the time frame of about 5 minutes, I went from basically hating motorcycles. Then I texted him a photo and said, okay, we're getting motorcycles.
She sent me the picture of it and I just pulled it up on my phone. And she's like, we can get a motorcycle. I'm like, fantastic, yes. Before even looking anywhere else with anything in it, we just said, yeah, let's do it.
But one of the big reasons that we decided to actually buy motorcycles was because at the time, both of my parents and Mark's dad as well were going through some pretty serious health issues. And it, not to sound weird, but it made me very aware of my own mortality and what I was doing with my life. And I thought, I love my job and I love working all the time, but we don't do anything. All we're doing is working and coming home and sitting in front of the TV and watching TV. And that's not how I want to spend my life. I want to have some other experiences in there. So a big thing for me in buying the motorcycles was we need to get out and we need to be living, because I didn't feel like I was living my life to the fullest. And the simple act of buying this motorcycle has given so much more depth to my life and what I do on a daily basis. Once I saw my friend's picture and I went to the Janus website and looked up the motorcycles and spent maybe 5 or 10 minutes looking at a few different pictures of, the Halcyon, the Griffin, and the Phoenix, and sent Mark the text. And then I saw the Discovery Days and thought, this looks really interesting. And since neither one of us had ever even sat on a motorcycle before, it seemed like a really great option before we took the leap. I had a lot of fears starting out. We got home with our motorcycles that day in January, and Mark's just like, okay, I'm gonna ride it up and down the alley. I'm like, you're gonna hit something, you're gonna crash. What are you doing? We don't know what we're doing. It took me probably an hour just to sit on the motorcycle and start it up. And before I was like, okay, I'm gonna try and go. I've got the starting down. I know how this works. But I was very timid and very nervous about it until we took our motorcycle course. Once I had taken that, I was like, everything kind of clicked together. Part of it was just doing things for the first time. I was scared to death at first to lean into a curve by pressing down on the handlebar. But the first time I did it, you're doing it so timidly and you're so ready to pull back on it. Am I doing this right? But once you get through that first curve where you do that properly, you're like, we need more curves.
So then once we actually got our endorsement, about a month later, we actually took a trip down to Kentucky. It was just a vacation that we had planned, and we took our Janus with us. And that was really where we basically learned how to ride, was on the back roads of Kentucky and through national parks. So it was, they had the amazingly fun windy roads. They were just perfectly paved down there too. And it was just a blast. But that's really where we cut our teeth.
Learning to ride in the spring like that, what was really interesting is that riding a motorcycle became this sensory explosion because there's things you don't expect when you first get out onto a motorcycle.
You really appreciate a lot of the sensory aspects of it. When you take a nice downhill slope and you drop 15 degrees and you come back up and it's warm again, but like you're saying, the musty smell when you go past a swamp, the things that you would think you wouldn't enjoy, but you love it anyway.
With the way that Janus goes back to basics, you're not riding a big, huge, oppressive bike with all kinds of things going on. So I find that when I'm actually riding, half the time I forget the bike is there and I have to stop myself from just kind of taking my hands and being like, yes, while I'm riding. Because you do, you get into a groove, and when you're riding and it's a beautiful day out and you're out in the country and you're seeing just nature and all this beauty around you, it's very easy to forget that you're even on a motorcycle.
With the experience of riding for me, like you said, you kind of forget that the bike's there. It comes down to it's just you, nature, and the road. It didn't take long to figure out how to ride, and so the momentums of everything just kind of became second nature. And then it was at that point when I realized, you know, I just go, and yeah, you just get out there, and it just opens up a whole new world for you. We like that off the beaten path kind of lifestyle. And, you know, when you look at the stuff around our house, this is who we are with that. And Janus fit perfectly in our lifestyle.
I like having things that are unique to me or unique to us, and that there's not a lot of. There's something to be said for something that's bespoke and custom made. And I feel like Janus is a bespoke bike. They all look different. I haven't seen anybody else who has a bike with the exact same options that I do, the exact same coloring, the exact same leather, and there's something to be said for individual hand-built craftsmanship that you definitely do not get with any other motorcycle that I'm aware of that's out there. And one of the things that we always kept in mind, even though we had never owned motorcycles before, we knew we were buying into a company and a product that was very new. We have Halcyons number 217 and 218. And we went into it, and when we saw some of those, we thought, oh, should we be worried? And the way that we calmed ourselves is we just thought, you know what? There's going to be some growing pains. These are really new bikes. It's really cool that we're getting in on such early numbers on these, but we're okay with that as long as the support is there, and the support has been there. I think a Janus is just easy all the way around. You don't have to learn what 15 different gauges are. You can figure out how to work on it yourself. You don't have to take it to a shop. It's very economical in so many ways because it's so basic. You don't have all kinds of extra stuff that you need to spend money on. If somebody's thinking about starting riding and they've never done it before, I think Janus is a very easy bike to learn how to ride and to learn how to maneuver and take care of.
We've always said that buying our two Halcyons was the absolute best decision we've ever made for a lot of reasons. One of them was because we enjoy riding, but the other aspect of it is Janus has been one of the best experiences that we've had when it comes to just dealing with people in a company. Everything about it has just been phenomenal. Everybody is just great, super friendly, easy to work with. Welcoming, you know, when it comes to the Discovery Days, when it came to the owners rally, it really felt like a family. It felt like, you know, just a gathering of friends, of people you may have never met before, but you have this great common interest. If you're thinking about getting a motorcycle, do it. If you're thinking about buying a Janus, do it. If you're thinking about buying a small engine motorcycle, do it. It's an amazing experience. It's so much fun. I've not had anything negative about this. The experience in general has just been the absolute best. It's great to have a bike you can work on. It's great to have a bike that when you pull it into your garage, if it's at an angle, you can actually lift it up and move it a little bit. It's great to have the control over the bike on the road. I see a lot of these bigger bikes on the road, and I understand why people get them for the comfort and for, you know, the ease of it and to have their music blaring, but that's not what we wanted to ride for. We wanted to ride for the ride. And a Janus lets you ride. Again, it's just the best thing ever.